be bad if we weren't recording.
All right. Are we good?
I think so.
Hi, everyone. It's Taylor with the Post Game Project. I'm here with Mr. Frankie Hammond, University of Florida alumni, as well as Kansas City Chiefs alumni. Really curious to hear a little bit more about his story, about his transition out of athletics. He is currently a business owner as well as a high school coach in the Gainesville area. Frankie, did I miss anything? Can you tell us a little bit just about your athletic history and kind of what you're doing now?
Okay. Like you said, I went to University of Florida. I was here from 08 to 12. Some great years and okay-ish years. And then after that, I went on to play football for Kansas City for 4 seasons. And then I did like half a season with the Jets.
Okay.
Got
Move around a little bit.
Yeah. And then came back here, made Gainesville home base, and been here pretty much ever since.
Awesome. Now in Gainesville, you're a business owner. Tell us a little bit about that. And you're also a coach.
Yeah. So, I'm into cars, vehicles is kind of my thing. So they came out with these 3-wheel machines called Slingshots.
Yes.
Probably see them by the beach most of the time, but started with one because I really just wanted one myself to ride around in. But me and my friends all have motorcycles. So
you're a biker.
Yeah, so I thought the Slingshot would slow me down from the riding the motorcycle, but it didn't. But the Slingshot just sat in the garage for like a month or 2 months, and I'm like, I got to do something because it's just sitting there. I'm like, well, let me try renting it out. So there's an app called like Turo that lets you rent out the car. So I started with that. You know what I mean? Kind of figuring it out, kind of learning as I go because I didn't know anything about renting cars, and I kind of picked people's brains. And ironically, my little brother Josh, who also played here at Florida, he was playing for the Jaguars at the time. And he connected me with a guy who rented out. He had like a fleet of like 10 in Jacksonville. So he connected me with him, and he kind of gave me the game on how to go about it and all that. So after a few months on Turo, just making the ends meet and making them a few dollars here, I was like, I'm going to start my own LLC and just get it rolling. So I did that, started out with the one Slingshot, then it grew to 2. And I was going to get a 3rd, but I wanted to change it up, and then I ended up getting a side-by-side. So yeah. So I got the Slingshots and a side-by-side. The side-by-side it's a kind of a weird vehicle because it's not like you can drive it to like Orlando. Right. So you have to keep it here local. But at the end of the day, I got those vehicles, and I just been slowly, just business has been growing. And like I said, those are vehicles that are sort of based on the weather too. Yeah. So when it's cold, it slows down.
Gainesville does get chilly.
Then, you know what I mean, after that, tax season roll around, everybody has money, wants to spend money. So love tax season, then it rolls right into summer, it gets hot. So, you know what I mean, it has its moments where it comes in waves. It's just part of the business, and you know what I mean, I enjoy it. That's what I like doing, and like I said, that's what I'm.
And then coaching as well, which I know you're relatively new to. How has that transition been as a former athlete to now coaching athletes?
I won't say relatively new. Okay. But all my friends that I rode bikes with, they all have their own businesses. Like I have my Slingshot business.
You up on that?
The guy that does the audio equipment, he got into middle school football. One of his friends like, hey, you want to coach at? So I started 2019 at Howard Bishop, the local middle school here. Okay. Then from there, I did there at Howard Bishop for a year. Had an okay season. I think in middle school because I'm from South Florida. Yeah. And we normally do like the Park Optimist League till you get to high school. It's a little different, but it works. So was there. Doing varsity at Howard Bishop for a year. Then I left. We all left because literally all the guys at the shop, we were all coaches, so we would just leave the shop, go coach the kids. We're all like best friends at this point.
I was gonna say that's your unit.
Yeah. So we left there, went to a smaller school at Countryside, and I was there for 5 years, up until like 2023, I think.
So you're not new to this,
right? And then I had another friend of mine. He's like, hey, you want to coach at Kanapaha? I was like, cool. So went to Kanapaha, not this season, the last season, kind of got to know the kids and everything. And then this year, those same group of kids, obviously the 7th graders became 8th graders. Yeah. coach varsity. We actually won the whole, like, the city championship.
Yes, I saw your trophy.
Yeah, so naturally all those kids are from Knappahart Zone to go to Buchholz.
Okay.
So that's how I ended up moving.
Okay, so
because I went with the kids. So that was my getting me over the hump was working with the kids. So I did that. And that's where I'm at right now. Just I went and talked to the guy at Buchholz, and he was on board. And obviously with me knowing that I played professionally, he gave me the opportunity and wanted me to help out with the receivers and stuff. So it kind of worked out. It was right place, right time.
Awesome.
Situation seemed great, so I was like, cool. And I get to stay with my kids and get to keep developing
be involved
and hopefully
in your sport.
Further their careers down the line. Hopefully they all pan out to D1 athletes.
I have a question for you. Were there any challenges? Because I went from athlete to coach, and it was a hard transition for me. Did you find like that transition difficult at all, or just a big change, or?
No, athlete.
You know?
But no, middle schoolers, I mean, I was with them just being kids and
cute.
It's just the developing thing. It's just seeing them go from this point to where they like barely don't know anything to the point now where it's like, Coach, I got it. I got
that's
you.
Rewarding.
That's rewarding for me. It's just when they
seeing
actually get
growth.
it. And they figure it out. And
that's the best feeling as a coach.
And me now coaching for the years, I was like, you can't. It's not everybody. You can't. It's not like you're gonna coach 11 and 11 of them are gonna get it. It may only be 3.
Correct.
The others gonna go do what they gonna do. They gonna live their life. Some of them, hey, sports ain't for them, and it is what it is.
Right.
So I think I learned that early on. It's just like, hey, you can't save them all. All you can do is just, hey, put your best foot forward, keep coaching. If some of them take it, cool. If 100 of them and 3 of them make it out, it is what it is.
I know, and I think coaching can be really hard mentally and emotionally because you get so attached to these kids, and like you said, you can't save them all, right? And that's my issue as well with coaching. And my dad, who's a head coach, tells me that all the time. But I get very attached and very invested.
Yes.
So it's an emotional thing for me.
Yeah, especially when you know a kid has the potential.
Oh my gosh.
And you just see him not, like, it's just like.
That kills me.
You're just wasting it. And it, like I say, you just gotta it is what it is.
Very, very hard.
Can't save them all. So I think, like I said, I think athlete to coach because it's what I know. It's what you've been doing since I was a little kid. So just to pass that game down, just like somebody took their time with me to develop me into the athlete that I am. It's just like, cool, I'm just giving my knowledge back that somebody poured into me. I'm pouring it back down, and you just keep passing it down. So I think that was a easier transition. I think the transition into life after sports is probably the harder transition.
Don't talk about that.
Is the harder transition, but going from that's just rolling over to passing that game down to a kid, and you know what I mean. It's just the knowledge that you have. I think that's the easy part.
That's awesome.
It's just the life part, the other side of that fence.
Yes. Well, I think it's really cool that you're giving back to the community, staying involved in your sport, and I have mad respect for that. So, good job. You mentioned transitioning out of your sport. Obviously, we know the post-game project is dedicated to this conversation that I feel like people don't have. And you did mention that it was challenging, and I know we spoke a little bit about those types of challenges, whether it be emotional and mental, or financial, or career-wise, or social. Can you maybe talk a little bit about some prominent challenges that you experienced through your personal and professional journey as you were transitioning out of your sport?
Yeah, me personally, I think the hardest part is just figuring out what's next.
Yep.
And some people, you know what I mean, their parents may have a business already running, so they can just roll into it. Most kids don't have that luxury, so it's like it's figuring out what's next, and you know what I mean. I feel like sports prolong that process. And whether you make, like I say, you make $10 million or you make $10, at some point you still got to figure out what's the next purpose outside of being
it's going to happen.
So, cool, yeah, you got $10 million. Yeah, you may have a nice house, fancy cars, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, what's the next phase in my life? And what does that look like? So I think that is the hardest part. And for some people, like I say, it may take a month and they're like, oh yeah, I got it. This one I'm rolling into, this one I'm into. Some people probably never figure it out, and they just, you know what I mean, they get a job and they just go about life. But I think that's the hardest part is just figuring out that purpose and what is it you want to get into right out. And like I said, everybody's different. That time period varies from person to person. And me personally, I would say it probably took me, because I stopped playing for the Jets in 17. They cut me like right before the season started.
Okay.
And then, you know how that XFL, they had another league called the AAF, UFL. I can't even remember the name of it. But Spurrier was the coach in Orlando. So I went there, did that, kind of bounced around, you know, just almost like holding on to the sport.
Yes,
holding on to it and trying to see maybe that can forward me, catapult me back into the NFL. And I was just like, nah, that didn't quite work out. So then come back here and it's like, you sit here and you think, and it's like, cool, what do I do next? And how does that work out for me?
Describe that feeling. Is it overwhelming? Do you feel lost? Is it almost exciting? What was that feeling like for you?
I don't know. I just felt like I was by myself, and it's like cool. I could go to my dad and maybe ask him like for a job opportunity, or you know what I mean. You know how you got people in your corner who should be like, hey, if you need anything, just reach out to me. And those people are readily available, but it's just like, dang, do I really want to do that, or do I really want to get into this? And it's like trying to figure out like what avenue you want to go down. So it's just me taking that time, and it probably took me about a year and a half to like figure, you know what I mean, to start like narrowing stuff down and figuring out what I wanted to do. So I'm glad I did. That's how I got the guys that I went now that I work at the shop with. Because when I got done, my first thing was I wanted a bike. I just always wanted a motorcycle.
Oh my God.
So I got into motorcycles and I wanted to learn how to work on them myself.
Okay.
So the guy that works on my friend Mel, who works on cars and motorcycles, literally while I was training, because I wasn't working or anything at the time, so I would literally go work out. I would just go to his shop and just.
So you kind of just followed your passion.
Yep.
Right?
Seeing the ups and downs of business and working with people, just me showing up, just, you know what I mean, just sitting back watching and seeing how like businesses work.
So a lot of.
Yeah, and they were small business, not like they're doing great money, you know what I mean?
If I'm accurate, do you think it's important for athletes who are transitioning out of their sport to find a mentor or some kind of community, or kind of like you had your friends at the shop who became business partners, you know, and taught you so much? Would that be your advice, is to find that mentor and find those people that are going to help you grow in your next career? Yeah,
I think so. Having a mentor definitely help. Just keep you in a better headspace, should I say, to keep you from going into the like. Did you have
a mentor, like a person, or was it just kind of that friend group at the shop?
It was just kind of like that friend group. It just naturally happened just for me going there. Like, they just saw me every day, like they couldn't get rid of me. I just kept showing up.
Awesome.
It's a big job. Hey, I'll give you some money. So they, you know what I mean?
It just kind of turned into, it sounds pretty organic.
All right, cool. Then now it's like,
you're in there.
My dog called me for anything. He need anything.
That's amazing.
We all are in sync. Like, for us to have our own business and work as one, and have like, you know, normally when you do business with somebody, it's like, bro, you owe me money. There's always a falling out.
Usually mixing friends and business is something people advise against.
Nothing.
And you were saying the opposite of that.
We are totally fine.
Wow.
As long as he got me like I got him, and it's literally,
I'm gonna knock
that's
on
how it is. And it's like, there, you know, some people like to count favors, and nope, I help him 10 out of 10 times. But I just know that one time I'm gonna need him, I know he'll be there.
That's awesome.
So,
is that kind of the same mindset or that attitude that you took from sport? It sounds almost like you look at them as your teammates. You guys are both working to reach a common goal. Everyone has different strengths. You learn from each other.
Right. I think so. That definitely helps. It helps the team camaraderie in that sport. There are stuff you can definitely take from playing sports and apply them in a work setting for sure. And that's definitely one of them, is having, depending on somebody else. Because like I say, playing football, it's like, you got to depend on the center. The center has to get to the QB. QB has to have enough protection to get me the ball. He got to trust that I'm going to get out. You know what I mean? It's a whole bunch of pieces that work together to make that execute. So it's just, I think it's similar.
What are some of those skills that you took from football, or those traits that sport has embedded in you, that you think has made you a successful business professional today?
Working hard, staying disciplined, and just keep staying focused and keeping your eyes on the goal. It's just keeping customers coming, staying what's next, like moving with the trends, and And obviously with him in life, just having like financial literacy. I'm not saying people have to have the best, but just know how to handle the money.
So many athletes struggle financially when the money is accessible and it's so much you can live, a certain lifestyle. And then when that comes to an end, we see a lot of athletes that, lose everything that they had. What's your advice, and what does that transition kind of look like?
I would say just know your financial lane. I would say just know where you at, just like not keeping up with somebody else. And just
you think a lot of athletes do that? Like they'll see, my teammate has this, or so-and-so has this.
I think so. And like I said, especially if that's my dog and I'm hanging with him all the time and he living like that, it's like, well, dang, man, I want to see what that feel like.
Yeah.
I may not have as much as him, but I'm still getting enough money. I could probably make it work. And it's like, cool, you got it, but a year or two from now, do you really got it? When I was playing in Kansas City, I had our like main receiver was Dwayne Bowe from South Florida. He was the money receiver. He was making tens of millions of dollars.
Crazy money, yeah.
Cool. And we all hung out with him. Nicest guy. We all would come to his house, eat. Like he would always tell each one of us, like, I can do this. Y'all can't.
Oh.
Because my little check, and like I say, it was a great check, better than the average person. You know what I mean? I can go back home and be like, y'all ain't seeing no money like this, but I ain't seeing his kind of money. So he's like, y'all can't do this. Like, I can, but don't try to keep up with me. I was able to start the businesses and get the things I wanted. So yeah, I was pretty smart. Okay. I started. Don't get me wrong. I feel like everybody has that initial like. It's like you got to get that first like wave of buying stuff out your system. Every situation is different.
Okay.
Because you telling a guy who working getting the league minimum making $500,000, or are we talking about the guy who was a first round pick that got $10 million?
Oh, very different.
That's why I say it's hard to regulate that, to tell each.
It's very situational. Yes. Okay, I get that. So, is there anything that you would say, now obviously it's very situational, but all athletes go through transitioning out of sport.
For sure.
Whether it happens from pro or collegiate or sooner or later, like whatever. What do you think are some things that are just unique to the athlete experience?
What's next? Like, where do I go from here? What's that?
How can athletes do that better?
Definitely start earlier, because even now they're here at Florida, they started to get better at taking people, because I think even this weekend they're taking them to like Vegas for some company to meet some companies and talk to some people.
Yeah.
And when I was in school, they didn't do that.
Professional development. Yeah.
Now they actually get to go speak to the bosses of the bosses.
That's so cool. Yeah.
So it's a little different, and I think I would catch my attention if I could meet the owner of Sony.
Who's taking advantage of those opportunities.
Right. I'm glad that they're doing it, so that way when they leave, it's like, cool, I've done this, I've done that.
You actually have a resume.
Right, exactly.
What about athletes that don't have those opportunities? So like your smaller D1s, potential D2s.
It's hard because the sport takes up so much of your time.
I know.
It's hard. Unless the school makes a way, it's just hard.
In the recent years, we've seen NIL. How has NIL kind of changed NCAA?
It just turned it into a business. So now, instead of you recruiting a kid and like talking to the parents, you're like, hey, I got your son for the next 4 years. I want to make sure he's developed and possibly create an opportunity for him to go to the NFL. Now that talk is, I don't even know if that talk even happens. Maybe it does. I would hope to some degree, but now it's just like, how much are y'all paying me? How much is my son getting? No. Y'all a great school. I appreciate everything y'all do, but yeah, Miami over here paying a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead down there.
I also think the transition out of sport for athletes who maybe you're not going pro, but we're getting paid from NIL. Once you graduate, like if you're not pro, you're not getting paid from your sport.
I think mentally that will screw an athlete up after college worse than like me just being the broke college kid trying to make it.
What is your advice to those athletes? I'm not pro, now I got to find a job.
For the kids that don't want to listen, life gonna have to get you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing.
It's reality.
Life's just gonna. I don't know when it's gonna click, but if it click right after, cool. You understand? Like, cool. Hey, I got to start at the bottom, make my 60, and grind back up to that, whatever, 500,000, whatever job it is. Then, like I said, at some point you'll figure it out. I hate it that it may take however many plus years for it to finally hit you.
Oof.
And you can't get that time back because you could have been doing something else more productive. But everybody gotta go through it.
So what can our institutions do better? And like, not everyone's like an SEC school, but what can these schools do better to prepare student athletes for real life? Because you're spoiled when you're a D1 athlete. Like, is that, obviously it's a good thing that like Florida gave us so much, but then we get into the real world and we're like, so what can our, especially the big dogs, what can our athletic programs be doing better to support athletes?
I think it's almost sitting down with them and kind of letting them do the labor. Telecom degree, I'm like, what class do I need to take? They knew I was adamant about I wanted a telecom degree.
You're a student before you're an athlete.
So I was literally like, I would literally check in with him obviously I go in the system, he'll show me and like, yep, I want that one. Because obviously when you get here, if you don't tell them anything, they're going to tell you where they want you to go. I told them that, and then like prereqs, I was with all of us were in the same class, you know what I mean? Then once the prereqs were done,
wow.
I went over here, everybody else, all 7 of them went over there. All my classes.
So you chose to be engaged and to learn and to be, involved in the process, which helped with your transition.
Right, and that helped.
For athletes, you would say, don't just let people take care of everything for you. Engage, learn how they do things so that when you leave, you're not like, oh God, how do I do?
Everybody make the choices for you.
No, literally.
Yeah, they tell you when and where you need to be. So I'm like, sometimes take control of some things yourself. Like, and my high school specialized in TV production, so I knew I wanted to.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to do that, so when I got here, I'm like, yep.
Got it.
Telecom, put me right at J school. That's what I want.
Oh wow.
I don't want to hear nothing else. Don't tell me nothing else. That's what I want. So that's how that worked out. And that kind of helped because that's what I knew what I wanted to do. I tested it out because when I was in Kansas City, they had an opportunity for me to do internships.
Oh, that's cool.
So they had like a month internship.
So as an NFL player, you could do...
In the off season, they have internships for you to do.
Oh, that's so
like
cool. I didn't know that.
Like 2 or 3 years. Like 1 year, I went to Comcast Sportsnet in D.C. Went with them for like a month. They flew me to D.C. and like it was like 4 other players from different teams who wanted to sign up for it. After like the first day or 2, they kind of walked you through on like, hey, this is how you catch the train. I think the first day we like,
oh my gosh, the Metro, the DC Metro.
Yeah, so we had to catch the line, so I had to figure all that. They like, so that stuff helped a lot too, because then it's like that put me in the real world.
So taking advantage of those opportunities.
For sure. Yeah. And then, like I said, even if you're not sure about what you want to do, just try it anyway and see if you.
And if it's not for you, it's not for you.
I went did that. We did games. They even let us report one day.
That's cool.
Went to hockey games. Like we went to the Wizards game. They let us. We were doing everything, and we got to sit with them. Got to see how they did everything.
Did you realize like it wasn't for you?
I just didn't like the hours. You can do the night shift, however you want to play it, and then you can sleep in, but then you're gonna be there till 11, 12 o'clock because now you got to do the late night news. So I'm like,
pick your poison.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know about
this. Oh my God.
But I'm glad I did it because then I would
I would have always
been curious about it.
Do you think enough athletes take advantage of these opportunities? Like, I've never even heard of that.
No.
Yeah.
But you got to talk to the player development. They have it. It's just, and they may tell you about it, but it's one of those things that, after practice, they come and talk to you and you're just like,
get me out of here. Yeah.
I just had a hard day of practice. I don't want to hear it.
I know.
And it just passes you by.
But it's so important because one day you're not going to have a practice.
So that definitely helped. Every year I would always take one and kind of do one just to try.
Good for you.
Try something. So that kind of gave me some stuff. But like I said, when football really ended and I made it, it's like, okay, what's next? What do I want to do? What does Frankie Hammond want to do?
Often we try to replicate that feeling that we had from our sport and that lifestyle. And I think it could be almost near impossible to do, at least for me. Like
coaching don't do that for you. Coaching does it for me.
A little bit.
The closest thing. A little bit.
Yes.
I'm old.
The closest thing I can get.
Right. It's coaching.
To being back on that track is coaching.
And I feel like that's why a lot of people do it because it's the closest thing to what they know, what they're used to.
Yep.
Like being out there, like. Cool, I may not physically can do it, or maybe I can just to give a demonstration.
Right.
You know what I mean? Here and there, but for the most part, it's like, I feel like that's why I see a whole bunch of athletes who probably hated training and I hated weightlifting. what they do now, they're personal trainers.
Hilarious.
They're weightlifters,
Hilarious.
they're coaches. And it'd be the ones that hated it, everything. Like, they end up being.
So you see a lot of coaches coming out of sports.
Yeah, for sure.
What other careers do you see? A lot of other, whether it's NFL alumni or just NCAA alumni, do you think there's certain fields that athletes may succeed in or that they're just attracted to?
I would say coaching is probably number one.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to say real estate, but I'm not sure.
I was just going to say like real estate.
Everybody, just because
investing.
Investing, that's the safest way if you got the capital to do it, to buy it. And most players, like, they got an opportunity. They bounce from team to team. They got a house here, or they bought a house there, and then they got cut or traded, and now they live over there, and then they keep that house and rent it out or do whatever. So before you know it, they got 2-3 houses.
Okay.
So
kinda
that's how, or they buy something back home or whatever it may be. But I think real estate's probably, in my head, would be the next one after coaching.
Okay, cool. Well, as we're wrapping up, I always like to leave on this note. I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
What is something that you miss the most from your sport?
Locker room camaraderie.
Really?
In college. Because professionally it's more, like I said, even now it may be a little different because of NIL. But before it's like we all got one common goal. We all broke. We all struggling. You know what I mean? It's like I'm leaning on you, you leaning on me. We not finna call our parents. Like it's just and I think that's the figuring it out part and learning how to just make stuff happen instead of just like I made 100,000. We got to figure this out, or like having roommates and like going through life as a like pre-adult. Because I feel like college is like
I miss that.
You're pre-adulting, so you got room to mess up because you can still call mom and dad and be like, some people may not, some people may not, but I feel like most of the kids can call their parents and be like, hey.
Or at least coach.
Like somebody can help them out in a time of need, like versus when if you just like if I was grown and be like they would question and be like, well, where'd that money go? You working?
Yeah, you're in that weird like in between. Absolutely.
So it's kind of those situations that those mess ups I think help you when you're an adult versus you just get 18 and you just get thrown out there and you just got to figure it out. And sometimes you don't got no room to mess up.
No room for error. Real life.
Because maybe you didn't go to college and it's real life starts. But now it's like I got that 4 year to kind of, all right, cool. Now I know
I can screw up here, not fall as hard.
So by the time I'm 22, it's like, all right, I think I got those little splurges out the way. Unless I know I'm in a good spot, I can. Cool, I can do it. But now it's like, all right, let me budget for this. Let me figure that. What this bill do? This
real
bill
life,
do?
Adulting,
and that helps. So it's like
absolutely.
in those crunches, I like
been there.
I ain't panicking. I'm good.
Yep. Because you've been there.
I done figured it out before. But I'm like, now everybody getting paid, so it's kind of skewed and
it's
mentally
different.
It messes with you. So I think that's what I miss is because that teaches you.
It does.
Some lessons as well.
So my second question and my last question for you is obviously a lot of athletes are going to be tuning into this podcast. Mm-hmm. A lot of people in the athletics world. What is one message from Frankie Hammond that you would like to get across? It has to be related to the post-game project, which is focused on transitioning out of sport, support for athletes and student athletes. What is one message that you would say for everyone watching?
Take advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves. Whether it's something you may not want to do or you may not think you ever want to do in life, I would say take advantage of it. Somebody presents something to you to go do this or do that or work here or, you know what I mean, intern there or kind of just, like I say, take advantage of it because you never know what may come out of it, who you may meet. And I think the world is now becoming it's not what you know, it's who you know.
You just told me that.
It's making connections with people. And so I think sometimes it's just taking advantage of those opportunities and just be like, no, or like, nah, I don't want to talk to.
Which is hard when you're training and you have appointments and you got, practice and meets or games.
Yeah, for sure. When that opportunity comes,
find the time.
Don't turn it down. Like, just, hey, what can I do? Yeah, I'll go check that out. Or, I'll roll with you to go see what's going on.
Yeah.
At this event or whatever. I think it's just, like I say, taking advantage of those opportunities because you never know.
Yeah.
It's all a bunch of connections and this person knows that person that may look out. So take advantage of that.
Your overall message seems to be like, yes, live in the moment, be present, enjoy your experience, but always be thinking about what's next and preparing yourself for those next steps so that when your career does end athletically, you're not like stunned, right? Makes sense. Well, I appreciate all of your advice and all of your insight. Thank you so much for spending time with me and for spending time with us. I hope you guys have learned a lot. I have from Frankie. I'm excited to continue following your journey and supporting you. If you want to support his business, I will link it in the podcast info, as well as his social media. So if you want to give him a follow, you can do that as well.
Go Gators.
Hell yeah. All right. Cool. My first in-person episode.
Let's see how long this was. God, 50 minutes.